We're live.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to
Welcome.
our Casual Conversation podcast.
Yes.
So, today we're going to be talking. Well, what is today, Aileen?
Today is Cinco de Mayo. So that's our conversation topic. We're here doing conversation 41, and we're going to be talking about Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Today is the Cinco de Mayo. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but
So we're going to be giving you a little bit of info about it. So, yeah. About it.
Okay. So, you guys.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be
so a lot of people think that Cinco de Mayo is what Mexican Independence Day, but it's not.
Yeah.
So we kind of thought maybe we should talk about that because there's a lot of misconceptions.
A lot of misconception.
So when is Mexican Independence Day, first of all?
Okay, nah, it's because I had it like I wanted to talk about background info real quick.
Wait, but what is that?
Like info about like.
Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know Mexican Independence Day is actually September 16th, and that was the Battle of Mexico with Spain. So Cinco de Mayo of 1962 is a total different battle. So this was a battle that happened in a city in Mexico, right? Or a state? Is it a city?
It's a state.
Okay. So Eileen's going to talk about that a little bit and kind of share the background of what Cinco de Mayo is and why people celebrate it, I guess. Go ahead, dude.
Okay, everyone, here's some background info. Cinco de Mayo, or the 5th of May, is a holiday that celebrates the date of the Mexican Army's May 5th, 1862 victory over France at the Battle of Puebla during the Franco-Mexican War, also known as the Battle of Puebla Day. So it is a relatively minor holiday in Mexico. In the United States, Cinco de Mayo has evolved into a commemoration of Mexican culture and heritage, particularly in areas with large Mexican American populations. So for sure, it's definitely blown up here in the US, I would say. But I feel like it's, I kind of see it as like St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah, like a Mexican St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's like a holiday like that where people just, get excited about it. Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
Oh, Edward is in the house.
Oh, snap. Thank you for joining, dude. Hey, you want to know, huh? You want to know about Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, so because Eddie agrees, right? Like it is like a national drinking day. So
yeah, and that's there's a couple things that they say about it, right? That it's Cinco de Drinko, right?
Yeah. So people just try to celebrate it like to drink and party and have fun.
Yeah.
But there's a reasoning behind it. I mean, like Eileen said, the battle, right? You talked about it.
Yeah, let me give you guys a little bit of more battle info before we get into the whole misconception of what's going on, okay? So Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican Independence Day. So that's the popular misconception. Instead, it commemorates a single battle. In 1862, Benito Juarez, a lawyer and member of the indigenous Zapotec tribe, was elected president of Mexico. At the time, the country was in financial ruin after years of internal strife, and the new president was forced to default on debt payments to European governments. In response, France, Britain, and Spain sent naval forces to Veracruz, Mexico, demanding repayment. Britain and Spain negotiated with Mexico and withdrew their forces. France, however, ruled by Napoleon III, decided to use the opportunity to carve an empire out of the Mexican territory. Late in 1861, a well-armed French fleet stormed Veracruz, landed a large force of troops, driving President Juarez and his government into retreat.
So oh boy, Napoleon, he's like, hey, well, I'm not gonna give up that easily. I'm gonna go and take over Mexico. So he goes in and like swoops, kicks out the president, right, and his government, and he's like, now I'm the one that's taking charge or whatever, right? So but I wanted to talk about that because Mexico, I guess the whole reason why they came, did you talk about that? Why Europe came? Well, I'm just gonna rephrase. So Europe came to Mexico because they were like, hey, you guys owe us some money, right? So I'm taking my forces, which was Spain. I think it was Spain,
Britain, and
France.
Yeah.
And they were like, so hey, we're here. I'm taking all my army, and you guys owe us some cash. So what are you guys gonna do about it? You know? So I guess Mexico came up with an agreement. They came up with an agreement with Britain and Spain, and they're like, all right, we're good, we're leaving. But the French were like, no, we gotta teach them a lesson. We gotta stay here, take over, and control Mexico. So that's how that ordeal went down with Mr. Napoleon.
So, is there anything else you want to add before I get into the whole misconception?
Yeah. So, hold on, guys. Okay. So, this war. So the way that it happened was, France stormed Veracruz, which was what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Where President, what was his name?
Juarez.
Benito Juarez was there. And so he kicked them out, and he took his French government, and he started to like plan how they were going to take over Mexico. So the general Ignacio Zaragoza, which was Puebla's general at that time, was planning to be ready for this attack. They're like, okay, so we hear the French are coming. We got to get ready. Let's gather up all the men we can. So they gathered up, I want to say about 2,000 men. And they strategically planned an attack to the 6,000 French men that were, trying that they were going to go to war with. So that happened, and they strategically attacked their camp, or I don't know if they were already ready. I mean, but they attacked the French, and the French decided to back out. They backed out because the Mexicans were kind of, they were kind of tough, and they knew what they were doing, and I guess caught them a little bit off guard. So they had to withdraw their forces.
So you already talked numbers, or?
Well, I talked about so it was a 2,000 Mexicans against the 6,000 French.
So just think about that, guys.
Yeah, that's like the 300 Spartans against the Persians. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie.
So, it would make sense that, they'd be excited about this victory,
Yeah.
Because it was a victory despite, having less men. That was a pretty good battle.
So that kind of encouraged all of Mexico. They were like, well, if 2,000 Mexicans can beat a 6,000 person army, then we can defeat them. So then that's when they decided to, stand up. And I guess the French were like, oh no, like the sleeping giant is waking up. We gotta leave.
Yeah.
So they ended up leaving. So the French army ended up with defeated. Well, they were defeated. And then when was that? I think it was around 1864. Napoleon was captured and executed by a firing squad. And so now the battle site where this happened in Puebla is now named after Zaragoza in his honor. So, you want to talk numbers?
Well, I was gonna talk about
Okay,
misconception.
go ahead.
Okay, so just getting into the misconception here, guys. Many people outside Mexico mistakenly believe that Cinco de Mayo is a celebration of Mexican independence, which was declared more than 50 years before the Battle of Puebla.
Which was the date that I talked about,
Yeah.
September 16 of 1810.
Yeah, and Independence Day in Mexico, Día de la Independencia, is commemorated on September 16, the anniversary of the revolutionary priest Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla's famous Grito de Dolores, Cry of Dolores, referring to the city of Dolores Hidalgo, Mexico, a call to arms that amounted to a declaration of war against the Spanish colonial government in 1810. So, that's really Independence Day. Cinco de Mayo is just a battle that was won.
Which is a very important battle.
It is, and
because it
was definitely a victory.
Definitely, and it was very, a big deal because it was like not even half of whatever army they had beat them, like defeated the 6,000 men army. So, which is pretty heroic and interesting.
I wanted to talk about like what goes on because I feel like Cinco de Mayo is taken as a bigger holiday here in the US than it is in Mexico.
Mhm.
But they do some things, and I just kind of wanted to talk about what goes on over there and in that particular areas. So within Mexico, Cinco de Mayo is primarily observed in the state of Puebla, where Zaragoza's unlikely victory occurred, although other parts of the country also take part in the celebration. Traditions include military parades, recreations of the Battle of Puebla, and other festive events. For many Mexicans, however, May 5th is a day like no other. It is not a federal holiday, so offices, banks, and stores remain open.
Is that in Mexico?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what goes on over there. I don't know if did you want to talk a little bit more about numbers about the war or
if you want to. So the battle, this particular battle, the Puebla, it lasted from dusk till dawn. So it was like an all-nighter fight. And
yeah, let's get into a little bit more information. The Battle of Puebla. Certain that success would come swiftly, 6,000 French troops under General Charles Lethrill of Lorentz, dude, I am sorry, but set out to attack Puebla de Los Angeles, a small town in East Central Mexico. From his new headquarters in the north, Juarez rounded up a ragtag force of 2,000 loyal men, and many of them either indigenous Mexicans or a mixed ancestry, and sent them to Puebla. The vastly outnumbered and poorly supplied Mexicans, led by Texas-born General Ignacio Zaragoza, fortified the town and prepared for the French assault. On May 5th, 1862, Lorentz gathered his army supported by heavy artillery before the city of Puebla and led an assault.
That's crazy how, because this French army was very well prepared. They had the tools, the ammunition, the guns, everything to go to this battle with and like on the Mexican side, there were more like they said, indigenous people that didn't have the resources that the French army had. So imagine how proud Puebla must feel of the fact that they won an invader, because like that's what they were doing. They were invading a country or like trying to take over because they're like, hey, we're not going to give up that easily. You guys better, I want this.
Hey, I'm pretty sure they said this isn't our first rodeo, right?
Who? The Mexicans?
Yeah, they're like this. They always be trying to take our land.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting, like, and it's cool because it is widely celebrated, like here in town. since last weekend, people have been like driving around with their Mexican flags.
Yes.
Today, like people dress up. They try to kind of like express their Mexican heritage.
And I feel like, people may have been celebrating since yesterday, since Taco Tuesday, and it just spilled on over to, Wednesday. And, that's cool. That's cool. People should be open to other cultures.
Yeah, just how we celebrate the luck of the Irish.
Yeah, and you learn new things, and it's great. Yeah, it's great. It's always great to learn new things.
Yeah, and it's always fun and interesting to learn about different cultures and their beliefs and their ideas and their own Independence Days. Like, what did they celebrate? The Chinese year just was like, is it the Chinese year that was celebrated not that long ago? So people do celebrate things like that, and I feel like that's very socially, multiculturally,
like, be diverse. You know what I mean? It's great. It's great. Did you want a little bit more info real quick, or
it's up to you?
Cut it off? I don't know. I just want to make sure everybody's informed.
I'm pretty sure they're informed. We said the same thing like 5 times.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else, like, it's not that there's not a lot of like, oh yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so the battle lasted from daybreak to early evening, and when the French finally retreated, they had lost nearly 500 soldiers. Fewer than 100 Mexicans had been killed in the clash. So, I don't know, guys. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like, you want me to go ahead and... Yeah. I'm going to just go ahead.
Just do it.
Although not a major strategic win in the overall war against the French, Zaragoz's success at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th represented a great symbolic victory for the Mexican government and bolstered the resistance movement. In 1867, thanks in part to a military support and political pressure from the United States, which was finally in a position to aid its besieged neighbor, after the end of the Civil War, France finally withdrew. Last piece of information. The same year, Austrian Archduke Ferdinand Maximilian, who had been installed as Emperor of Mexico in 1864 by Napoleon, was captured and executed by Juárez's forces. Puebla de Los Ángeles was renamed for General Zaragoza, who died of thyroid fever months after his historic triumph.
That's sad.
Wow.
So that's interesting, because we're over here thinking Mr. Napoleon was the one that was here.
Yeah.
But it was actually this one dude named Max. Huh.
Yes.
So Max was sent by Napoleon to be like the little emperor of Mexico, right?
Yeah.
And so that didn't happen for long.
I mean, point being,
so the
great victory won.
Yeah, and it's always sad to lose fellow human beings,
Yeah,
because it's like we have to really go to war to fight, like, really.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that's
how we solve problems.
That's the only means of, like, being able to make an agreement,
right? Like, if you don't have the means to pay me, then I'm gonna take your land and I'm gonna kill all you. Like, really?
It's just very selfish, and there's other peaceful ways to handle things.
Why can't we just all get along and like share the planet? Like,
it seems like it's too much to ask, but
wow, they're blasting it over there, huh?
Yeah, the neighbors.
If you guys can hear the little I don't know, what is it, kids playing music in the background, I apologize.
Yeah, but I mean, all in all,
happy Cinco de Mayo, you guys. Stay safe out there. If you're gonna go out and party, make sure you guys are safe and don't drink and drive.
And just all in all, it's a lovely culture, and glad to be part of it.
Rich in traditions.
Yeah, so it's a rich culture for sure.
So I hope you guys like this video. We'll be back next week. If you guys have any suggestions on videos, any like, I don't know, how do you say it? Like, requests, I guess.
Yes.
Let us know. I did have somebody ask me to do like a true crime video. which we might do, but I just get kind of like, I don't know. It kind of makes me feel like weird a little bit
Yeah.
because I'm not like a very, I don't know. I don't like crime. I don't like killings and all that. Like,
Oh, it's too intense.
talking about it, like it's just intense and it's sad and it's kind of scary in a way. So, but maybe we'll see if we can find something and talk about it. So, yeah. So thank you guys for watching, or thank you guys for listening to us, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.